What's up, guys? So here's the progress of the phase 2 account that I also gave you an update, I think, last week. I started on 21st March. Today is on 28th. That tells you it's only about 1 week of trading the account. Within the 1 week, I've only been able to get a setup for 3 trading days, which I'll be showing you in a bit. Currently, the account is sitting at 3.64%. Also on the account, I'm currently risking 0.8% per trade, doing a risk-reward ratio of 1:3. So each trade is supposed to make me about 2.4%. That being said, because my target is 5% for the phase 2, divide by 2.4, it means I need to get approximately 2.25 trades, right? But as you can see, I've already got 3 trades, but out of the 3 trades, I did have 1 losing trade, and that's why I'm yet to pass the phase 2, but I'm definitely heading on very well. So here is the account details. Just to confirm the same thing, you can see I've only taken 3 trades on the account. You can see the equity is also the same and the balance as I've just shown you previously. Out of the 3 trades, here is the performance. The first setup was a card JPY buy setup, which hit a 1:3. This is the setup that I did the breakdown last week. After card JPY, the next setup was AUD card. This week on Monday, AUD card did a stop loss. I was trying to go short an AUD card following my strategy. Everything was in play by the time I was taking the setup. This is this week on Monday. However, the setup failed, which is also part of trading, so there is nothing I could have done about that. Then the last setup is here today on Thursday. Was able to hit take profit on this one, risking about 0.8, targeting to make 2.4. Because of things like spreads and also getting my entry a little bit late, I didn't make exactly 2.4, so I did about 2.3, 2.2 there. But either way, that doesn't really affect the performance much. So this is how the graph currently looks like. The first positive 2 point something, then we went into a small negative 0.8% loss, and now we've also been able to do another positive 2.2, 2.3, so we are sitting at 3.6%. Target of this account is 5%, so at the moment minus 3.64, I'm only left with about 1.3% to actually pass this phase 2. If I do get my next trade being a winner, definitely I'll be able to pass, but in the case I'll end up having 1 or 2 more losses as my next trades, it means it might take a little bit longer. But that's the whole process of trading. You can't tell what tomorrow looks like. Your work is just to execute the system and let the probabilities play out. Everything else remains a function of time. On today's setup, here is the setup for today, Thursday. I'll just be doing for you a quick breakdown to explain to you how I got the bearish setup using my simple price action analysis, and most importantly, how I'm also incorporating my support resistance strategy. So first step, we go to the daily time frame, and the first thing is I always want to look for the overall price direction. So I already know that the price direction on AUD card is bearish, but I'll just show you how I do that. So I do minimize my chart to be this small, then you just look at how price is going. Of course, this market is forming lower highs and lower lows, as you can see. So the overall price direction on AUD card is bearish. Even if you minimize this chart further, you can clearly see that from left to right where price is today, overall this market is heading downwards. So after knowing that the market is heading downwards, just want to show you a few price action concepts that I did use in terms of the resistance to also get more confidence before trying to get a setup. First of all, as it stands, this is my view on this market. So we did have this market selling to this low. It's been doing a pullback. So right now we're expecting a possibility of it continuing to drop. So as you can see, it looks as if it's a little bit confused here, but this is just a normal pullback. There is a very high chance that this market will continue to sell all the way downwards. Now, whether that happens again is not something that I'm so focused on. All I know is that for now, the market is bearish, and as long as there are confluences, I'll be trying to get a setup. Because at the end of the day, I'm an intraday trader, so I'm not interested in the swing move long term. My interest is in the day-to-day setups that form. So anyway, with that prediction in mind, I just want to show you how this market has been behaving in terms of bouncing off at key resistance levels. And here is the first level. Somewhere here, if you can just mark from left to right, you'll be able to notice this market was buying very, very well, and after hitting this level of resistance, it started dropping. So again, this is a very, very good sign that we have weakness in this market. Now, I told you anywhere that we have more than 3 touches of price wicks rejecting the same level, it simply means that's a level of support and resistance. So when price goes above this level, it will be support. We'll be trying to buy at support. When price is below this level, it becomes resistance. So let me just show you a few touches faster. You can see we have these many wicks bouncing off at the same level, level. You track back in time, this is in July 2023, we have more weeks there. You go as far as March 2023, we have more weeks at the same level. Just to show you how strong this support resistance level is, we just need 3 touches. By now we already have more than 3, but I'm just trying to solidify my zone to show you why I had a lot of confidence in this resistance. Look again, we've gone back to December 2022, we've now gone back to August 2022, and as far as May 2022. Long story short, this is a very key level of support resistance. So the price has come and bounced off here about December 2023, which is the end of last year. So again, this is a very long-term prediction for now still, but now trying to look at the immediate prediction as to where price is today. Somewhere I think a week or 2 weeks ago, you'll also be able to notice that price has bounced off at another key area of support resistance. And again, I'll show you the weeks. You can see we do have these weeks there, very many weeks there, the second time, third time. Let me look for a clear one, fourth one, number 5, number 6. Price now came back here somewhere, I think maybe 2 weeks ago, to the same resistance that we've seen working from as far as I think 2022. And as you can see, when price got to this resistance, it started dropping very well. So what I'm just trying to show you is how I built confidence that this market is likely to continue to drop, because it's reacting very well at the levels of resistance. And keep in mind, I'm only focusing on the short positions because the overall trend is what? Bearish. So that's exactly why I'm focusing on the resistance levels to try and find the continuations. So somewhere by this week, when the week was starting, you can also see that last week price did this long bullish week, and this week just simply means that buyers were completely strong, then sellers came and overpowered the buyers. This is a very good sign that sellers are very strong in this market and buyers are beginning to lose their momentum. And after that day, the next day, we did have a significantly long bearish candlestick that was also a bearish engulfing. So I was very convinced that we are almost at the right time to be trying to identify bearish setups or bearish continuations. Now, heading to the exact setup, which was today here on Thursday. So let me show you how I found the setup. As you know, you also want to continue selling at resistance from the lower time frame. However, I still mark the levels from the higher time frame, which is the daily time frame, simply because from the daily time frame, the levels are carrying more weight since they've been working for a longer period of time. I just try to show you a few levels of support resistance which are here. So we do have a certain level somewhere just around here if you look carefully. And also maybe I can just mark one more. We don't need so many, because at the end of the day, we are trying to sell today. So we are interested in where price is today. These are the levels I've just marked to show the long-term perspective of why I was confident in this market. But in terms of today, where I was looking for the setup, I'm only interested in the levels that are around where the candlestick was by the time today was opening, or rather by the time yesterday was closing. So I'm only interested in the levels around here. So I don't need to be marking levels as high as up there. It's not really necessary. So after marking my level, the next thing that I want to confirm is before I try to sell, the previous day candlestick must be bearish. So since I was trying to sell today on Thursday, the previous day was Wednesday, and here is Wednesday. So Wednesday candlesticks must be bearish, just to show me that we have signs of strong sellers in this market. One more thing, I can't enter the market when we have high impact news, so I'm trading AUD CAD. So in the case we have any high impact news on AUD or CAD, specifically, not just any type of news, specifically CPI, interest rates, what else, PPI, I'll be trying to avoid the market. So the other thing is to look at my calendar, and as you can see, we did not have any high impact news on either AUD or CAD. So now coming to the 15-minute time frame, as I've told you, at a resistance, you want to expect price to go back to resistance and hopefully try to get a setup there. So if I can just take you to where today started is here. We've already seen this resistance has worked for years. So we are confident that if we do get a setup, considering everything is in play and everything looks to be in our favor, this might be the perfect timing to try to go short. So how I get a setup is that I look for an M pattern once price touches the resistance, because price hitting resistance is not enough reason for you to think that it's going to sell. So let's look for an M pattern or a double top, just to increase the chances that we have some signs of strong sellers in this market. We had this bullish candle which went all the way up. Then from the bullish, the market sold until somewhere down here. From selling to went up and bought. From buying, now we want to complete our M. For it to complete the M, we need a candlestick that comes and sells below this middle point that I call the neckline. So this candlestick eventually came in, closed below the neckline at about 6:30 a.m. So by this point in time, I did have my first confirmation, but that is not everything. So I come and mark the middle point of this M pattern that I call the neckline. I always mark it as a whole zone, and the idea is that I'm waiting for price to just come anywhere close to this zone, and I'll be trying to get an entry. So it doesn't have to be so perfect. If it comes anywhere close with 2 pips, 2.5 pips, I always get my entry. So this next candlestick at 6:45 came back and retested the zone here. But I never took the entry at 6:45 simply because before I take an entry, the previous 1 hour candlestick should also be showing me signs of bearish momentum. So at 6:45, the previous 1 hour was between 5 to 6. You'll quickly realize that 5 to 6 is here and 5 to 6 was bullish. So 5 to 6 was bullish. So even after getting the confirmation, I wasn't confident because I still want the 1 hour to show me signs of bearish momentum. After this candlestick retested at 6:45, the one that I have ignored, the next candlestick at 7 also came back to retest the same zone. So at 7, again, as it retests, I still want to look for the same thing. Do we now have any signs of strong bears from the 1 hour time frame? By the retest at 7, the previous 1 hour at this time is between 6 to 7 now. So let's go to 6 to 7, which is the previous 1 hour. So you'll quickly be able to see that on the 1 hour, this is 6 to 7. And this time 6 to 7 is actually a solid bearish candlestick. And we now have confidence that bears have started kicking in this market. So I don't wait for so many bearish candlesticks. Reason being, just when I see the first candlestick, I'm trying to time this entry as early as possible. So you realize after this first candlestick, if you're the type of person who's still waiting for, 2 or 3 more confirmations, you'll end up waiting for 1 or 2 more candlesticks, and you'll end up taking your sell very, very late. Well, on the other hand, for me, once I just get my first confirmation at the resistance, I enter immediately. So I end up finding my entry very early, and as you've seen, most of my trades, sometimes they even have very little drawdown. Long story short, our confirmation has come into place. The previous 1 hour is bearish. So when price came back somewhere here, I did have my entry there. Double click, looking for a 1:3 risk to reward ratio. Let me just minimize to show you how that setup was looking like. Didn't take so long. The market sold quite well, and eventually I think a few hours later, as you can see, it came and hit my target. This trade went almost to 0 drawdown from the entry. After entering the setup, it quickly went to my side, almost 0 drawdown again. Opened at 7 a.m., closed at 1:30. Just to measure that for us to see the time, it's showing us that the trade took 6 hours 30 minutes. Yeah, something like that. So that was a perfect intraday setup. I hope you've learned something, and yeah, that's it for this video, guys. See you in the next.